Did you know that on October 27, 1962, the world was moments away from annihilation? A single decision by one man may have saved humanity from nuclear destruction. Here is the little-known story of the Soviet submarine B-59 during the Cuban Missile Crisis. It was the height of the Cold War. Tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union had reached a critical point, with both superpowers ready to deploy nuclear weapons at any moment. Amid this chaos, the Soviet Union sent 4 submarines, each armed with nuclear torpedoes, into the waters near Cuba. Among them was the B-59, an ordinary submarine with extraordinary consequences. The B-59 was deeply submerged, cut off from all communication with Moscow for days. The crew endured unbearable heat, growing tensions, and constant pursuit by the U.S. Navy. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy was dropping depth charges, small explosive charges meant to force the submarine to surface. But the Soviets on board didn't know that. To them, it seemed like an attack, a sign that war had begun. Convinced that a nuclear war had already started, Captain Valentin Savitsky decided to arm the nuclear torpedo. This was no ordinary weapon. This single torpedo had the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. If launched, it would have annihilated the U.S. Navy fleet and almost certainly triggered a full-scale nuclear war. But there was a crucial safeguard. The decision to launch the torpedo required the unanimous consent of the 3 senior officers on board. While Captain Savitsky and the political officer agreed to launch, one man, Vasily Arkhipov, opposed it. Under immense pressure, Arkhipov argued that launching the torpedo without confirmation from Moscow would be reckless. He urged the captain to surface and establish communication before making such a catastrophic decision. His calm and reasoned approach prevented the launch and, consequently, avoided global destruction. When the B-59 finally surfaced, it was clear that war had not begun. The world had narrowly escaped disaster, thanks to Arkhipav's unwavering determination. This incident remains one of the most critical moments of the Cold War, a striking reminder of how a single decision can change the course of history. The courage and wisdom of Vasily Arkhipov saved not only his crew, but the entire world. The Cuban Missile Crisis ended the next day on October 28, 1962, when the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba in exchange for a U.S. commitment not to invade. But the lessons of the B-59 remain. In times of great tension, it takes just one person to choose peace over destruction. Subscribe for more untold history stories.